This is a silly idea. Hello, hi, it's me. Look back there is the Sudoku pad ready to mail to Skojo tomorrow. Only like a year or two late. Just a little late, just a couple years, that's all. So, here's the thing. I am momentarily feel motivation, probably generated by like an avoidance of doing a bunch of stuff I need to do, like a bunch of like, get started on taxes, boring admin stuff, like whatever. I've had this silly idea for a while, but all my ideas are silly ideas, but I take them very seriously. And when I feel the motivation to do a thing, sometimes you just got to do the thing. So I think we'll just like poke at this idea a little bit and see where it goes. I have some notions of the general shape of the thing, but let's just talk about it. Let's go to like any puzzle. Where's a puzzle? Some of those might be secret. I can't remember. I don't want to show a Blob's puzzle that's not actually released, although maybe I've just shown the URL. Is that a secret? I'm sorry if that's a secret. I can't actually remember. I don't think it is. Is it? I don't think so. No, surely not. Anyway, let's just go here. So the idea is the following thing. Let's just pick something. Doesn't matter. Let's just go to any Sudoku pad puzzle. And is there one that's like looks a little more normal at the start? There's a lot of weird ones, huh? It's very classic. Like a classic this is. It's a classic. So what if as you played this puzzle, oh, we got the weird background going. That's nice. What if as you played this puzzle, I found a way to steal and broadcast like the state of the board, which I'm pretty sure like just in here is like everything that's going on. Like what if we just drew a line? Like inside game, there's a board here. Inside the board, I think everything that goes on in the grid lives here, right? So in other words, we have an SVG renderer that shows everything, and it's going to show like stuff. Like it's going to show, this is maybe the background. Can we temporarily hide this? Is there an easy way to do that? Probably. We could just delete it. Anyway, and then I think in here is where like the numbers and things are. Like each row and column, and then what it contains, like what's in the cell. Oopsie. Uh-oh, off track here. I put a bad 4 there, but I just want to see, like, didn't we have a way of determining these things, of like what was inside a row or column? Can't remember, but what I do remember is that we figured it out at one time, right? So what did we decide? This is what we did, right? App.puzzle, framework.app.puzzle. We did this work already. And we said, hey, what's going on in here? Like what goes on inside this land? So can we do like this? Oopsie. No, framework.app.puzzle. Does this give us like a state of what's going on inside the land of the puzzle? Things in the grid. So what I want to discover is, can we like get a sufficient, is this a grid element? What's this? Can we like find a way to sneakily borrow this data? So that's what, like row 0, column 6. Is that where we put our number? Yeah, value 4, right? So it seems pretty easy to get the cell contents, right? That is the actual element there. The idea, though, of trying to get the things like this line or whatever seems a little challenging. I should back up and tell you what I'm trying to do, probably, because I'm maybe not being very helpful. A thing that has sounded funny to me for a long time is to make like a graphically intensive Sudoku, right? Like some kind of graphically intensive representation of a Sudoku grid. And that means there's a grid and there's numbers, but it's variant Sudoku, so there's whatever other nonsense you want to try to include, right? And that's a daunting task to be like, how can we draw all this nonsense? But like doing the basics, doing the like kind of proof of concept thing doesn't sound too outrageously difficult, I don't think. Looks like this is just an ordered number of cells. So in like the 6th element, maybe we'd also expect to find value 4 here. Yeah. So getting the values, getting like the digit that is in there doesn't actually seem very difficult. Getting things that aren't values, like, you know, that. How's that represented? And I just don't know the answer. Like, well, we can see there's a pencil mark there, actually. So that's interesting. So we can see pencil marks. Can we see center marks? So what would it mean for me to change this to this? How would that change the representation of the data? Did it change the representation of the data? Or do I need to now? I mean, we're looking at the object, isn't it? I don't actually know if it's reasonable to expect that this will be updating in real time. Like, if I delete those values, delete all values there. It's weird because it sort of seemed like it updated in real time before. Let's put like a 2 here. Value's still undefined. Am I looking at the wrong cell? Here we know that there's a given digit. Yeah, we have a given 1, given center marks, given corner marks. We can see the pencil marks away. Oh, it's pen. I think it's going to be pen will contain some things. Pencil will contain something else. So if in here we put like a 2 in the center, but a 3 in the corner, and maybe we do need to I don't know why we have what appears to be pencil marks there, actually. Try this one more time. In the cells in here, we get a pencil mark that is a 3. Pen doesn't contain anything. Where do we find... Oh, candidates, I guess. So candidates is what is in the center, one assumes. So I'm sure there's a way to refresh this properly. I don't know anything about how this is built, but so if we look at cells again, and maybe we look in here, we would expect, right, candidates 2, 3. If it had a value, it would be here. We have the pencil mark. So we can draw the numbers, it seems, right? That seems like a thing we could do without a tremendous amount of difficulty. Pen I don't know what that looks like, because that's like a thing that spans the world, right? But if just as an experiment, we deleted this and we said, give me the pen tool and maybe draw a circle there in orange, and then also draw a pink line that goes through the center. Is that something that is represented in that cell in some way? We could also try to look at the SVG, of course, but I mean, there's an argument to be made that looking at the SVG is actually the clever route. So if we look here, pen, we have an array of 53 and 12. That may mean like that index is somewhere else, but I don't know. We have an undo stack. It's interesting because we have this representation of like in a cell kind of way, and we have this representation, you know, or like as a grid arrangement, but I think it's the same data. Rendered values. Pen is different here though. Oh, because we're looking in the first cell and we're just seeing that line come through, right? So actually we meant to look not there, but here, and here we should see the 53 and the 12. So what does 53 or 12 mean? 53, 12, rendered values. My assumption is that like somewhere else in here, there's some maybe other representation, some other like thing that tells you about the grid. Also, what's the references to the grid? The cells. Just wondering if somewhere else. Like, what does that 58 mean? Is it a reference to like something inside the SVG? Something like that? Also, what does it look like when rules are set? Also, what does it look like when you do something like this? We have the grid, we have the cells. Presumably we get more pin stuff. That's interesting. So this is an HTML element. It has these child elements. I see. So that's interesting because it seems to say that these, interesting. It seems to say that certain pen values belong to certain cells. It's a little weird that this pink value belongs to us. Like if I draw through here, but I guess it, like you see that dot there. What if you do this? Does it mean that only kind of like certain portions of a line that continues through other parts of a cell are there? Because here's the thing, like obviously there's some like initial state for the puzzle based on the rule sets that Sven does the work to parse and figure out. There's also the state as the puzzle is played with whatever annotations the player is adding. Oops, not there. Here. Back here. You have these child elements. which include that line segment, that but not the line segment that comes into it. So presumably the line segment that comes into it is actually expressed here under child elements. Wait, why am I not understanding this? So, yeah. So that line segment actually belongs to the first cell, and you can see the given digit as drawn, right? It's a text class cell given. It presumably has a 1 in here somewhere under like value or something. Where is the text content? 1. So that's interesting. So that seems like a thing that's sort of like we can figure those things out. It's a little annoying, honestly, like the drawing of the elements, the way they're stored. There's some representation here, but like, is this... These are like SVG. It looks like, right? It looks like these are SVG. I see. Challenging. But it makes sense. The cells do reference the SVG values that are used to render them. I was kind of hoping there was something a little more abstract, but maybe that's... I don't know if that's necessarily easier or better or anything. It's just different. So that's interesting. And I guess so the remaining question then is for a rule set, like whatever. Cavalshed, how's it going? We're reverse engineering Sudoku Pad to do silly things, is what I'm thinking of at the moment. I don't know if I'm gonna like follow this through in any way, but let's say we had some German whispers. The Floor is Lava by Ja. What? A blobs puzzle that I haven't done? Maybe I have done it. Wait, that's not what German whispers. Didn't I click German Whispers variant? Okay, let's go with this. Let's go. Just take a look at it. So let's go in here. It is convenient. Now I'm distracted and want to do that blobs puzzle, but it didn't seem to have... I wanted to investigate and look inside this data structure and see, like, for example, if something about the thermometer was described. And it doesn't look like it. If I put something like this in there, if I put my own circle in there, I think we will see that now we have a child element, but it's only my child element. So that, I think, tells me that the somehow the given rules, like the drawings of the given rules, don't seem to be represented in the same way. And I have a fear that, not a major fear, but it is a fear, that certain things that we want are going to kind of only exist in sort of, my assumption is maybe that Sven assembles this like a static SVG based on the rule set at the time that the puzzle is generated, and that we're not necessarily going to find kind of a raw data representation of it. I mean, also, these are all guesses, and I don't know any of these things to be true or false. But it would kind of make sense to be like, well, only at like parsing, at the moment that you parse the rules, that might be the time that you make the decision to draw the kind of underlying grid, and then why do you care after that? I don't know if I'm expressing that idea well. It just may be that I think everything the user does, we can pull from the status structure, but everything that any given setter could do, which is a huge number of things, obviously, we may not necessarily find. And that's sort of okay. So I have an alternate thought then, if that's the thing. If actually kind of the canonical sort of representation of what the puzzle is not necessarily kind of in this JavaScript data structure, but actually exists more meaningfully inside here, like in this SVG renderer. Yeah. What is this then? Whoa. Okay, not actually important. That's not actually the thing we care about. It's just kind of the background. So it appears that the thing we care about is this. And it appears that, yeah, look at all this stuff. Arrows, cages, all this stuff. So Sven has this very organized representation of how a Sudoku puzzle is represented in SVG. So we could look in for something like cell values. Seems to be at the lowest level. Or is that the highest level? Cell values must be the highest level. I'm forgetting like how the rendering order of SVG works, but I think it's like top down kind of thing. Or the stack is inverted from what we see here. And then we see this value here. And we could presumably just go in and mess with this and change it. Yeah, so, proposition. I have a proposition for you. Kavolskid. If you're still here. Proposition. Claim, in fact. What if we stole that and fed it in real time? That's not what I want. Show it to me. No. Or like at some updating interval, like this cool tiger. And we, drew whatever was in there, and then we didn't have to do anything. It's like Sven does all the work. And we can just, we just pull, he does all the work of figuring out what the stuff is, right? And then I do the work of how to draw it. What do you think about that? If we were going to do this, that would be the way to do it. It sounds backwards to you? Exactly. But so there's for this undertaking, which by the way, you may not know because I don't know that I've explicitly said it, is I just think it would be funny to have a like polished 3D, like high gloss view of a Sudoku grid, but I don't want to write a Sudoku pad. I don't want to make like 3D Sudoku pad, right? I want to make a Sudoku visualizer. And the two paths are, I start with the same data that Sven is drawing, and then I have to do all the figuring out of how to draw it and what does it mean, and what does it mean if this line is this color and whatever. He actually does all of that and then processes it into SVG, which is like it's a standard. We know how it works. And so what I'm actually would be doing in that case is saying, I know how to deal with SVG and I can see like kind of what his structure is here. And so I could, I'm saying I can or will. I mean, I think I can. I'm saying I should or will. Pick up not at the data and then I have to figure out how to draw the data, is take his drawing that he's already drawn and decide how to draw that in 3D. There's something appealing about that. Like if we look here in overlay, we're going to presumably see. It's funny that this rectangle is not rectangular, isn't it? Doesn't that seem weird to you? But we can see some things in here, like the way quads are drawn, for example. So rather than me trying to understand what a quad is and figure out how to draw it, I can just say like, well, you have circles and text and things like that. It looks a bit annoying, like for sure. But the thing that's appealing is, here's the thing that's appealing. I think the very first thing we could do is take all of these SVG layers and probably find a way to kind of like split them out. Because I think like the SVG renderer in 3JS is relatively robust, and I don't think it would necessarily be an outrageous demand to just take this SVG and then like draw it in 3JS, but extruded. And that even gives us benefits of like, I don't understand some of these things, honestly. But I don't have to understand it. I just have to draw it. But I was just looking to see if we had like, I mean, I see what's in the pen and I see these paths and they're just SVG paths. That's a thing we understand. But the, oh yeah, the color is what I'm curious about. I see. The classes are perhaps, we will be missing a critical ingredient if we only grab this structure, I think. No. In here are the class definitions, right? I hope. No. That must be true. Watch me do this. I'm going to see this right here? I'm going to take this and I'm going to do what? Edit as SVG? I'm just going to grab this. It's mine. But actually what I want to do is, I just want to like give it, what if I just take that and then just paste it here, for example? What does that do? Look at that. Somehow we drew everything except the grid. How did we... Okay, this is not, you know, we're missing some stuff. We are missing... We're missing styles, which is a little sad. But presumably a solvable problem like this. Look at this. Look at these. So when I go back down in here and I click on this, and I see that this is pen color 2, that appears to be true. I don't understand that other prefix though, if I'm being honest. So it's a bit annoying that that seems to be defined in some faraway place. Like that is a thing I would have to discover. Like we would need to discover how to steal that. We have pin color tool is defined here. With this, yeah, stroke is equal to etc. etc. There may be some clever way that we can, yeah, there may be some clever way we can like steal that out or like find, like pull that from this document in a kind of collapsed way. But we need to start somewhere if we're going to make a prototype, right? We could start right here. We could make a folder. We could just call it prototype. Just right here on the desktop. That's not going to stay there. I would never. It's going to go to central services, files, projects, new folder, 2026. Oopsie. Sudoku Pad EX. I don't know what it's really going to be called. Prototype, drop in here. And how do you open things in VS Code directly? I should, okay. Very easily could have shown proprietary work, but it opened on this monitor instead of a different monitor, so good for me. I have Windows, you're truly the worst. I think I was a Windows free household for many years, and those days may return. Let's go. I also just don't remember how to use, I don't know how to like, I hate Windows as a development environment. Go here, and do like what? Like npm init? Or no, we probably want this to be like a Vite project and so on and so forth and all that fun stuff, right? I don't remember how to do that. We're gonna go copy and paste some things. This thing, right? Oopsie. I don't know why that's not doing anything. What? Yeah, okay. Project Sudoku Pad EX. I don't know if that's the name. Let's do Let's do view. Let's do TypeScript. What is roll down Vite? Let's not do that. Install with npm and start now? Yeah. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you make websites even if you're not a web developer. So what might, you know, I don't think we're going to stream too long here, but if I had an ambition, oopsie. Can I do this? Yes, I trust the authors with my life. That's not what I meant to do, though. Okay, I don't know, web development. Okay, how do we do this? Here? And then, like, npm run dev or something? Yeah, sure. So, we did it. We got this thing. This probably looks at something. Maybe. Okay, so... That's not helpful, is it? I have a silly idea. I have to remember how to do it, though. So we want the like broadcast API or broadcast channel API or whatever it's called. This thing. This thing. Yeah, that thing. So here's what I think we want to do because I think it's funny. We want to go back to no, just go in the place. No, go to the, I don't really use extensions. We have to go here. Fine. Go here. Just go to the thing. Yeah, just go there. It's fine. Okay, go here. How do you do this? Edit. So the thing I think I want to do is like on load. Am I not editing this? Didn't I say I wanted to edit this? Allow update. Okay. No. Okay. All we want to do is say like, you know, this, like every, I don't even know. Let's just start with a second. So we want to make a broadcast channel. And then every second, we want to just like say hello. Hello there. Yeah, just do that. See, it's already working. So we just want to say hello once a second. Maybe this works. Who can say? Save it. Can we go over here? Is it going to do a thing? We should maybe also like log so that we know it's working. Get out of here. How do we do the, is it you? You go away. You allow edits. And then let's also, wait, where didn't I just save this? Didn't I just edit this? There it is. I don't understand anything. Was it in another window? Was it here? Maybe you're right. Another tab. So just to make sure it's working. Oh, hi. I don't really use these kinds of extensions, but we're just trying to like steal. We're just trying to like inject our opinions inside Sudoku pad. What's it mad about? What are you mad about? We got the Sudoku. I did a set interval, didn't I? Set interval. Did I do something wrong? Oh, that's in a window key down, not in a window load. That's not what we want that at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not what we want. We don't want that there at all. I was thinking that was the window load, but it's so clearly not the window load. We want it here. I don't really know the best like practices for writing extensions like this, nor do I really care. So is that what we want to do? Yes. Oh, hi. So we now once a second are broadcasting whatever. So over here in this neighborhood, in somewhere, I don't really care where. Sure, here. We will change these things, but let's do the same thing and have a broadcast channel called. Is that what we called it? And then we will have one of these. So we will just, our goal is to just like steal the life out of Sudoku pad. Why are you not? Yeah, go over there. Did that work? Seems to not have worked. I think we got to maybe do it in like the on mount or something. Is that a thing we need to do? That doesn't seem right, does it? Is that, it is on mount. Okay. We can try this funny Copilot thing is, very funny. Okay. So I'll just do this. Why don't you work? Why did you stop sending? This is sending. Is it not on mount? Is it on mounted? I don't remember how anything works. We got the app mounted message. Did I not call it Sudoku pad? What did I call it? Broadcast channel. Sudoku pad. Sudoku pad. What did I do wrong? We're posting the message, and we should be listening to the message, and we're saying that the app mounted. Is there something? What do you think we forgot to do? App mounted. Oh, is event empty or something? Do you think I'm not allowed to do this? Do you think broadcast messages don't work? Do you think, we seem to be sending messages here, right? This seems to be incrementing. I mean, something's broken, right? What's broken? Is something actually broken, or is it just this 404 cramping my style? I don't really use Firefox, so I don't know what's going on. We seem to be logging, and we seem to be broadcasting. Why do you think this doesn't work? We could go here and... No, give me this. And also, just as a test, try sending things from this side. Weird. Why did that make us... It was momentarily working. You saw this, right? That it was like momentarily we saw the thing happening. But seemingly we only saw it when we also like sent data both ways. Or am I just like seeing my own message, which would be very silly and very funny? Admittedly. Am I only seeing my own self? What very obvious, very silly mistake am I making? I didn't get rid of the old one. I probably need to like undo this. There's probably a much more appropriate way to why? What am I missing? I don't feel like this is meant to be complicated. Am I doing something wrong with the unmounted or... I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a reason to not, like, I don't think we actually have to wait for this to mount. Not that that makes a difference, but 3D to pad. I feel like I'm just seeing my own message. Doesn't that kind of seem like a thing that shouldn't happen? Like you shouldn't see your own message. But why doesn't this person see their own message? I mean, other than like, that seems kind of silly, right? This wasn't meant to be complicated. I don't really understand. Unless there's like, oh, I know why. Of course. Right. Obviously, I can't do this. Shoot. This isn't going to work like this. I can't do this like this. This won't work because it's, even with the grease monkey injection, I don't think it's the same origin, right? Like, it's not going to work. I mean, we'll figure out another way, but this way won't work. Which is sad, but it's not that big of a deal. We need some little bridge. This is not going to work, right? Because we had different origins. I guess somehow I don't know why I thought it could work. It's not possible. We just need a different way to get browser to browser, and broadcast channel is only same origin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, same origin. We're not on the same origin. We have different origins. So that's a little sad. Is there a way to do this? Probably need a I'm trying to think of the absolute quickest way to get up and running, since this is not going to work. The quickest way I can think of is like just a very quick, simple WebSocket. I don't want to do that. It feels lame. It feels like there should be another way to do this without needing like some intermediate. I mean, the grease monkey thing, you would kind of hope could help. Like a way to have The grease window will let you talk a lot across tabs and windows, but we'd have to run the script in both places, which, like, not the end of the world. Yeah, so we could use Grease Monkey to do it. Like basically build our own little dude, it looks like. Add value change listener. Let's try this. Maybe. Yeah, but then how would I get the value where I need it? Seems like it's annoying, but I don't want to get hung up on this because I'm sure there's other ways to do it. Let me think here. What is the thing I want to try to prototype today? Getting the data back and forth, we know we can do, right? Like whether it's a WebSocket or some other mechanism, we know we can get data from A to B. I was hoping we could use the broadcast API, but like obviously we can't because they're different origins. But that's not a total deal breaker. It makes things annoying. It definitely does. I mean, already this is going to be annoying to like be able to get the data out of Sudoku Pad because it's not our data. But I don't want to get hung up on that at this moment, I think. I think what I want to do instead is just try, if we're just trying to like make a thing happen for kicks, for fun and profit, the thing we actually care about doing at this moment is getting the puzzle grid. Right? And just seeing about rendering that in some way. Which means we want some SVG element. We want some reference to the root. That's the grid element, but that's not the root of the SVG. Right? But even that, maybe I don't care about right this minute. Because we it looks like we have like, you know, abilities to reach in and get so here's our SVG element. That was the inner HTML. So does that mean we need the outer as well? So let's just for a moment do this. Did I not do that correctly? Copy. Outer. So here's our puzzle. And we had that 3JS somewhere. What did that look like? A bunch of stuff in here we obviously do not care about in the slightest. Like, I don't care about any of this. And we care about kind of nothing in here. Except for maybe like... No, I don't know. I don't think we care about anything at all right now. But let's take this... That's not what we want. We want the this person. I thought this had like links to the... Yeah, look at that cool guy. Look at this. Look at that. The fun SVG. Look at that. This is what we want. This is exactly what we want. We want our puzzles to look like this. That's our goal. Goal for today. Loader SVG. Okay, let's look at this example. And see what's going on in here. I don't want the GUI. I want to just like do the thing. Okay, what do we want to do? We want, we can throw this in here. A container. We can do this. Is it 3.js? Or just 3? Or... Wait, what is it? Quit it. What is it? Hmm. .js is the right one, I think. 3 was... No, 3... Confusingly, 3JS is called 3, so... I think that's what we want. Okay. Okay. And then we want, you know, this stuff. I don't really want GUI. And we want to do this stuff where? Here. Something like that. And we will do, this is all fine. None of this stuff. So what do we need in here? We got a camera. We got all this stuff. We got all this stuff. We got all this stuff. This is something like, I don't actually know how to do this. We just need to get the URL. Let's see. Can we do this thing? That was the URL. I don't know. I don't know if this is right at all, but we'll see how it goes. Does that do anything? Don't want to create GUI. Okay, how are we doing down here? What? What are you mad about? Wait, what's wrong? Oh, did I do something? Sorry. That's my fault. Okay, great. Broken. Sure. Okay, how are we doing? Still broken? Render A, that's fine. We have that. That exists somewhere. Ooh, look at that. Load SVG is a method. I didn't expect that. Ooh, doesn't look good. Okay, we know we want this in here somewhere, right? I'm not thinking about this very hard yet. Again, this is just a silly little prototype. That's all. Okay, on window resize. Sure, fine. Sure, why not? And then load SVG. Yeah, okay. Load SVG had way more to it than I was expecting, actually, honestly, unfortunately. That's like, there's a lot of stuff in here, huh? Well, whatever. Okay, GUI data we don't want. That's not what I said. Don't do that. Okay, look at that. We've done it. We nailed it. We stole. We've done stealing. Hey, it's a puzzle. We got a puzzle. It doesn't have, you know, the grid is not actually there. Like, there's a different grid. It does have a grid, but, you know, it's not like the grid. But the thing I want to do actually now is try, where's the numbers? Didn't we put a number in our puzzle? Yeah, we had a number. Do you think the number's there and it's just like, it's white or something? So here's the thing we want to do next is, I think the thing we want to do, the thing that seems funny to me is, I want to just extrude it. I just want to like pop it out in space. A little bit. How do we do that? We load this, we get a render order, we multiply scalar. Why? Why do we do that? What if I don't want to do that? I mean, maybe that stuff is all geared towards the tiger or something. I don't know. We loop through all the paths. We don't want to do that though, because like, isn't it groups of groups or something? Like, I don't really have a concept of how this is structured. Like, what's the representation of the data? That looks bad. This looks like exactly wrong. So, problem, immediate problem. This, like the groups that are defined here that are very important to us, it kind of seems like groups are possibly disregarded and that in the incoming data, all we have is a bunch of paths of different type. We're basically looping through the paths and saying that if fill color is not undefined or none, and if stroke color is not undefined or none, so we're drawing like fills and strokes. So like somewhat unfortunately, it kind of sort of looks like that loader maybe doesn't do the thing we want it to do, which seems sad to me. I mean, open this. Where is this? Go there. No, go to, where is it? Just open this file. How do you do that? Can you just go here? Do you have to like hold some buttons or something? Just go there. Doesn't that seem like a thing that shouldn't be complicated? Okay, so in node modules 3, wait, oh, is it 3 source? I don't, wait, where is this? 3 build? Am I losing my mind a little bit? Don't we expect to see loaders in here? That like not a thing I expect to see? Oh, there it is. It is under source, not build, sorry. Wait, what? Inside loaders. No, it's add-ons is what we want. 3 add-ons loaders. Add-ons is what we can't find. What in tarnation? Is it right in front of my face? It probably is just right in front of my face, right? Why can't I, why can't I do this? I feel like that's a thing I do on my Mac, is go to like the definition. Am I just being silly and just forgetting some really obvious thing? Is it in the build where we expect add-ons to be? It's just like, no. Wait, it's here, right? In a very, very different place. Yeah. So not in the place expressed there. Weird. I don't know how that works. It must be something about like how the TypeScript exports work and not where the actual files are stored, or I don't know. So we got the paths, but that's not what we want. We want the groups. Progress callback, error callback, unload. But that would be a real bummer if case G is parse style, but like doesn't that kind of imply we format this? Not you. You. Well, install a formatter. That's not XML. It's an SVG. Don't you know? They're not SVG. I can't deal with SVG. Well, never mind. Anyway, excuse me. Unfortunately, it looks like the groups are not respected, which seems like a thing that sucks. Does that mean that groups are just disregarded? That is not ideal for our purposes, friends. I can possibly think of some ways to deal with that. Maybe if we could like manually we go through and do this parsing or whatever, but seems lame. Is it time to party or is it time to go to bed? I've spent an hour looking at this. It felt promising. Whoa, there's a raid at this hour on this channel? Well, hello, Chinstrap. Thank you for the raid. What were you streaming? I'm doing something nonsensical. I don't know if you've come at an opportune time. Oh, how dare you for not following last night, Phoenix. I'm outraged and angry. A little bit furious. Oh, of course you were streaming Sudoku. I think I actually saw your going live announcement. I did indeed see your going live announcement. I have bad news for you. This is a Cornish John puzzle. I have to tell you, and I'm sorry, I'm not solving puzzles right now. And this is very disingenuous of me, and I feel like a liar. I'm stealing from Sudoku Pad, trying to do something ridiculous. And just getting frustrated because I feel like I was just stymied. Yeah, this is a new Cornish John puzzle. And we were just in the process of poking around in Sven's Sudoku Pad code, stealing the SVG that he draws, and then pulling it into a 3D framework because I have a vision in my mind. Yeah, 3D Sudoku. But like really lush. Like we want global illumination. We want ambient occlusion. We want chromatic aberration. We want depth of field. We want like pulsing, gyrating lines. We want German whispers that whisper at you. Like when you get close to the German whispers, maybe you hear whispering Germans. Did you really? You did? Wait, okay, but did you make like actual 3D Sudoku? Like the puzzle was 3D and it's a cool, clever thing and not the nonsense thing that I'm making? Because what I'm doing is clearly nonsense. Truly nonsense. It will be my second nonsensical Sudoku creation. The first one's right here. If you haven't seen it, this is the Sudoku pad. My invention. It's a peripheral. It's a dedicated Sudoku pad peripheral that supports all keyboard operations of Sudoku pad. So you can go here. Can we go here? Is it going to work? Did I break it? Probably broke it. Here we go. So if we go here, I can you can't navigate with arrows. I obviously could have done that, but I think most people play with two hands. So we can put things in here. We can delete, we can switch and do corner marks. We can switch and do pencil modes. It's basically just attempts to be like a physical version of this. And it's very silly. Yes, I sent one to Mark. I did send one to Mark. Is this how this Calvin ball? Yes, the reason it only takes me like 3 hours to solve a puzzle that should take 20 minutes is I've got this to speed up the solve. So I did send one that's true, sub 3 hours. I did send one to Mark. I also sent one to Blobs, and then I've got one boxed up to go to Skojo. And those are all the extant Sudoku pads on this earth. I generally forget to use it. If I need to like, I generally solve on my phone, but then when I need to enter, well, it is a limited edition, very rare. I forgot to sign it. When I need to enter, if I want to enter a bunch of puzzles into Logic Masters from my phone, then I can use this to enter a bunch of them. I think Calvin Ball is how you pronounce that, isn't it? Wait, it's wrong? It's either Calvin Ball or it's like the Cavalcade of Stars. Those are the two, the best I can come up with KLV. Kelvin, like Lord Kelvin. So anyway, here's from everyone rating. I apologize because you really came at a nonsensical time. Lord Kelvin. Kelvin is of the Lords. Kelvin. Oh, crushed. Like Calvin crushed. Lord Kelvin? Please don't stick around. But it is nice to see you again, Phoenix. And good luck with your classwork. Anyway, so here's the silly ambition. Wait, please don't stick around. Please, could you please leave? I think you should leave. I think you should go. I mean that. I say that with warmth in my heart, but like, you gotta go. Okay. Thanks for that kiss on the forehead. That's very sweet. That's a very sweet little smooch. I guess I did one other thing with Sudoku Pad because I made the goofball thing that lets me like green screen in weird backgrounds and also lets me cut and paste solution rows and columns, which I don't understand why that isn't a base feature of Sudoku Pad. Tremendously, continuously frustrated. This background breaks down after a while. Maybe we should... Except I think it broke it. I think it also just like fully breaks after a while. Oh boy. Yeah, we can't touch this. Can I force a refresh? Refresh cache of current page? Nope. It's broken. Wait, is copy cell? Oh, right. I think copy cells did get added eventually, right? I forgot about that. It is a thing now, isn't it? That you can copy the cells. It didn't used to be. Yeah, this copy cells. But okay, but it's a button that does copy cells. I explicitly wanted to like highlight and Control C, Control V. Does that work? But yeah, you're right. That is a recent feature. I did see that got added and it's button only. I want to Control C, Control V, but it is a welcome addition at least. So, but hey, can you green screen? I think you actually can like change, like have custom backgrounds now too. Maybe all of my work is for nothing. Can I want to see, may I see your 3D puzzle? I'm sorry, did you already post it? I apologize if it already came up. I was distracted by trying to figure out how to say Henry Cavill. Okay, Dice Maze. I'm ready. Let's take a look. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Cool. I love it. Look at that dice. Or that die, excuse me. It is a die. So it was a little bit of a misnomer, right? Or it's a maze for dice, but there's a single die. Oh, you can change your digit font as well. That's exciting. This is cool. Okay, I do want to solve this, but I also... Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's great. Nicely done. What did you build this with? Oh, yeah, the green. Wait, is the green... Yeah, the green screen sometimes... It's a very silly way to do the compositing, but it was the easiest way to get a background. It's all HTML and CSS. Ooh, really? No WebGL? Is this like 3D CSS stuff? Oh, very nice. Nicely done. So my silly ambition, which now I will explain feels maybe a bit more out of reach, was to steal. At first I was like, well, can I just steal the raw data and redraw everything? And then that was proving to be like, man, that seems like a pain in the butt. It seems like that seems annoying. It seems like I have to go through and draw this stuff, and that doesn't seem fun at all. But now maybe I have to do that. Well, maybe it's something in the middle, because then either it was look for the raw data in some data structure in Sudoku pad and grab it and try to recreate all the drawing, which seemed annoying, especially because we determined that the base, like the rules for the puzzle is that's already rendered flat into an SVG. So then it was like, oh, let's just like steal the SVG and just come up with a way to real time like sync our SVG to the 3D version. And that sounds fun and silly, so let's do it. But the 3JS SVG loader did load the puzzle. We're missing things like colors and whatnot, which was expected. Like that was, I didn't expect colors to work immediately necessary. But so we're able to take the SVG and bring it in here. Problem. The parser, the actual structure, like Sven's structure of the puzzle is quite nice. Like it breaks things into like kind of a coherent system of layers of like, this is where cages should be, and this is where arrows should be, and so on and so forth. That is an attractive. It's attractive. I find it attractive. Doesn't quite work because the way the SVG parser in 3JS works, if we use 3JS, which I was hoping to, flattens everything. It disregards grouping. And because the very easy thing I was going to start with is just use these layers and just like add some Z depth to them, and we'd get kind of a 2.5D puzzle without much effort. Because why would we want to apply effort to this? But we failed. Also, it also is looking like this does not parse text nodes, actually. Uh-oh. Yeah. So what do? We've got a couple options. Like this looks like an enormous pain in the butt. Like this like parse path node looks like so annoying, but it's already written. So that could be nice. Parse node, parse path node, parse CSS style sheet. Like there are methods in here that are useful, but you will notice that all of those useful methods are inaccessible because they are just functions declared within a function, which is pretty lame, but you know, I'm not above copying and pasting that, I guess. But yeah, this is obviously not designed for the purposes we were hoping. So some options. There's a lot of stuff in here. Where was like, oopsie. No. I've been working on this Windows machine and I kind of forgot how. We wanted the thing that showed like path or arc or whatever, right? Or even like G. Where was all that stuff? We saw it before. Apply effort. I'm willing to apply effort when effort is like meaningful, you know, when it's meaningful to apply effort. Yeah, it's a bummer that like this class, we can see constructor load is exposed, parse is exposed. Like we can just give it text, Annoyingly, everything in here that we would maybe like want to have access to is not exposed. So we would be perhaps doing some copying and pasting, unless we found some other library to do it. I think it looks like relatively robust in terms of what it's able to accomplish. I'm actually really surprised that it doesn't seem to do text. Why doesn't it do text? Doesn't that seem weird? I mean, like, we see the things that it will parse. So what might one want to do? Somebody did a lot of work already on this, and I definitely don't want to recreate that work. Zero ambition to do that. Like, it's weird kind of that it doesn't parse text, right? Yeah, this thing. Why don't you do that? Yeah, okay. So that's lame. So it just doesn't do it. I mean, that's a valid point. Trying to apply styling to text in WebGL seems like a pain in the butt. So this person has perhaps a better version. Could this person be could this be the solution to all my problems? This friendly gentleman? This fellow here? It draws flags, Canadian flags. That's promising, right? Like, I don't see any text there. More examples. Text. Here's the thing. Like, we don't, obviously, like, long term, we would be like wanting to, we know what the text is. It's a subset of digits that would be a certain. Actually, digits are never different colors, right? Other than like given digits being black and otherwise they're just blue. So actually, we don't actually care that much about the styling of digits. Sorry, not digits, text. That is a valid consideration. So another thing you could do, perhaps, is like the parse holding an array of shape paths. The raw SVG data as a string. We could provide only the parts of the SVG that we wanted to this, get all of it, and then draw the text ourselves. What do you think about that idea? How do you like them apples? Is that a thing? Do we put our foolish ambitions to rest? Do we rely on this fellow here, this friendly gentleman, who's... Killer Cage sums and sandwich clues. Right, all the other text, right? Or like quads or skyscrapers or just the numbers of the grid. There's a lot of secondary text for sure that we would need a strategy for. But I think whatever our solution was for drawing things could probably work there. Probably. We could also maybe just say that this friendly fellow, the library of this friendly fellow here, cool gradients. I am curious about the group thing. Are groups maintained? Because that is actually like of meaningful, kind of appears. There's multiple groups. Maybe. The aliasing here is causing me heartache. Oh, I mean, this project may go nowhere, but I appreciate you stopping by. You should certainly go to bed. You should get out of here too. Get off my phone. But thank you for sharing your 3D puzzle. It is super cool. And thank you for taking a look at this. Lord Kelvin, when people say they want to go, I just say good riddance. I'm not going to... You know, my dear maternal grandmother, Goldie Highland, Goldie Marie Highland. My paternal grandmother, Leela Bell Garner, whenever I would leave, my maternal grandmother would say, "Oh, I'm so sad you're leaving. You're my right-hand man. What am I going to do without you?" She always really made a big show of how much she would miss me when I would leave. That's my paternal grandmother, Leela Bell. My maternal grandmother, Goldie Marie, whenever I would leave, would start to sing a song from maybe the 1940s or 50s called "I Got Along Without You Before I Met You. I'm going to get along without you now." So she would just start singing about how she's going to get along without me whenever I would leave. It was very funny. Okay, so what are we doing? My claim. Whoa. Gosh, the aliasing is just truly abysmal. Just really garbage. Load SVG. How well do you think it does with this thing? Well? Unclear. Oh, we already moved that, didn't we? I hate this in Windows. In macOS, if you drag a path over, you go to the path. In Windows, if you drag something over, you move the thing. So we have to reveal this in Finder, and then we have to copy the path of this, copy as path, and then we have to paste that here. Oh, good grief. Are you mad because there's quotes? Hey, look at that. And it drew the text. It did a bad job of it. I mean, pretty abysmal. But it did do it. And in fact, I believe part of what we're seeing here is the discussion that we saw in this thread is problems of alignment. But hey, it tried. That is interesting. If we look at that overlay node, this really is formatted in an upsetting way. But that really makes it hard to navigate. Like, is there something about the anchoring of text that we need to know about? We just like, that's not what we want. Just, good heavens. I missed the last one, but that's okay. This is a cool website. Oh my gosh, just everything get out of here. So I just wanted to see if that would make it a little easier to see things. It kind of like doesn't really, or I don't know if like the text is supposed to be centered or something, or if there's supposed to be some additional indicator of you can't search inside the thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, this site was a bad idea. Get out of here. Get me out of here. I just like, is there actually not an XML formatter? Just format it. Okay. What's the shortcut? Anybody know? Huh? Did this? Nope. That's not it. It's not it. Okay, we did it. We formatted the document. Like most of this, I see. Unfortunately, like the styling may be harming us. Like, oh boy. Yeah, like the CSS styling of the text. Again, we don't have too many kinds of text that we would necessarily have to worry about, but that is annoying. Okay, so where does that leave us? It means we know we can draw something like this, but this is sad to look at. We know that like the thing we would kind of like would be ideal if we could make the browser do it is like give us the SVG element, but like with like all the styles applied at that moment, like unroll the styles basically. I don't know if that's possible. It would be kind of a cool thing to be able to do. This sounds like a question for some LLM. Oh, annoying. SVG crowbar. It captures the SVG as it appears on the screen. SVG crowbar is a pretty cool name. Okay, computed style API. I've never heard of that. Okay, we're just going to trust the LLM on this because it doesn't really matter. Computed style API will maybe like help us by just flattening everything, but who knows what will happen. Probably going to stream too much longer. This main purpose of this stream was exploratory. So this is saying what we want to like. So how do we find that? Does it have a name? Where is that thing? The like actual SVG. It's here. ID SVG renderer. So did that work? That's undefined. Why didn't I find it? Skojo, how's it going? Is that not what it was called? SVG renderer is the ID of that. Doesn't that seem like a thing we should be able to have? I'm not solving a puzzle. I'm doing another thing. Why didn't that work? Or maybe... Yeah, we got it. Okay. So now we want to do a thing that is what? We're going to try this get computed style thing. So we want to do... I've never done this. I don't know if it's real. It's an LLM telling me this. It may be a lie. So we want to do a const computed SVG. And that's going to be equal to this like window.get computed style. Is that real or is the LLM hallucinating? SVG renderer. Oh, maybe it's real. Console.log the computed SVG. I mean, so okay. Doesn't really seem right, does it? Like, I think this is wrong. But I think that the principle is right. Oh no, another long day at the escape room. Did you... I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of you after you had a long day, but I have this funny notion of like you're working on the escape room and something goes wrong and then you're trapped in the escape room. And then now you have to escape. This says I can do this. I find this hard to believe, but let's try it. So we have what? We found our SVG renderer. And this says we can just do this, like loop through it and do the thing. Yeah, that don't seem like that worked. What happened? Missing name after. Did I do that wrong? Oh, I have 2 dots. Like this? Does that work? Did that, Do you think that worked? It sure seems like it didn't, because doesn't that seem like that didn't do the thing? Because we don't have, we just like, there's just no colors, right? Like, or did it work? I mean, it doesn't seem like more broken. Oh no, is that true? You've been trapped by your own escape room? Did you manage to escape? Did you have to use all of your skills to get out of it in one piece? So that doesn't seem like it really worked. I mean, seems like I just like made the puzzle worse here, right? But like, because the thing we did was we tried to get the SVG renderer like this, and then we try to do a thing where we go through and we get the computed style for the element, and then we set that, the CSS text, equal to that. And I do this and it's going to do something weird. Kind of breaks everything, right? And then we tried to log that. And then we tried to like copy this. And we got rid of our, I mean, it says stroke color. Like it kind of looks like it did something, right? But it also looks like it didn't work. What about our new friend? We lose our new friend. Look, being able to knock down a door is skill. That's a certain kind of skill. Doesn't this look like there's numbers here? Like, doesn't that look like a reddish bluish color? So where is it? Unless, okay, we lost the other thing, right? Where was that? It was like 3 JS SVG TS or something. What was that thing? This thing. Did this do any better with that? No. Which is weird, because doesn't that look like a color? Wouldn't you say? I would. Yeah, look, I mean, it's in there. We did manage to bake the color in. So unfortunately, it seems like both of our parsers are like failing to be happy for us about that. And it also seems like we broke a bunch of other stuff by doing what we're doing. So this sadly seems like not as instantly easy as one would hope, which maybe shouldn't be surprised. Now, here's a thing that I think is probably true, generally speaking. Like, This is our like fancied up label version or whatever. But guess what I'm trying to decide is arrows. It's weird that the arrows. What is in the arrows hierarchy? Why are there arrows in this puzzle? Did I lose the real puzzle? Is that the whole German whisper? It is. And the paths are all linear. So, I believe. So here's a thought. If the like, and so inside the overlay, where did we see that? Like, where are the quads? Text. But where's that circle? Am I just missing? That seem weird. Like, where's the? Is the circle? Does the circle exist somewhere else? That was not the place to put that. They're in there. Why? How come some of these rectangles are circles? Can anyone explain that? Is there like an arc in here that I'm just not seeing? I see a bunch of rects. Oh. This is a rectangle with a radius that makes it into a circle. That's funny. Where did the thermometers live? Inside underlay. This is another rectangle with a radius that makes it into a circle. Did you know that in Sudoku pad, the circles are squares? What a revelation. It's all squares. It's squares all the way down. What an interesting choice. I mean, I get it because the arc thing is kind of annoying. So maybe this is just an easier way to draw a circle. Wild. Okay. Question number one is this project something I actually want to pursue? It's kind of funny. You know, that's actually a very good point, is that maybe this is like, maybe it's not Sven who's doing that. Maybe that's actually a very good point. Should I look at a, well, like because if I'm going to make decisions, what do we got in here? Do you think these circles are squares? Are these circles squares? It's a very important question in this blobs puzzle. I have to know. Was that part of the underlay? I've got bad news for you, Skojo. These circles are squares too. It's this. All the circles are squares. But what were the thermometers? Or the you know, where also were the... It is spooky, I know. It's a scary place we live in. The overlay, is it in arrows? The whispers are in arrows. Those are arrows too. So also, did you know that thermometers are also arrows? That definitely like puts a damper on my plans. Some of my plans, because that means in this case, weirdly, the circle part of a thermometer is divorced from the arm part of a thermometer. So, you know, some notion of rendering those as kind of like separate elements. I wouldn't know. So here's the main flaw of this exact execution that we are looking at is I don't know the I don't know the nature of the puzzle. Like of the clue. Like I don't know, like, is this a thermometer? Is it an arrow or whatever? That's not a thing that's represented well here. Here it's just a bunch of shapes, which in most cases is totally fine. It's just like, it's fine. It's a bunch of shapes. Who cares? But in a two-dimensional world, it doesn't matter. Like if like structurally the bottom of the thermometer is separate from the arm of the thermometer. But if we're envisioning a three-dimensional world, that does kind of matter. And I would not easily ever know that. And so, excuse me, part of the thing that's attractive is the idea of, oh, good heavens. Oh no, Skojo. Oh no. Okay, what are we going to find in here? Are these all arrows? What? It seems much of this is stored in the arrows, and some of it is in the underlay. I got to tell you, those circles are also rectangles. And unfortunately, your very clever, very fun strategies for drawing these things, I fear would not adapt well to 3D. Like the multi-layer banana. I hate to say it, but I believe your bananas are rectangles. I mean, I can see sort of the mask of the banana, I think, if I'm interpreting that correctly. It's a little hard to say exactly what is what, but I think your tomatoes are rectangles too. I think your grapes are rectangles. I hate to be the one to break it to you. So here's the, like, adapting this to 3 dimensions perhaps a challenge. So I have to say, I'm going to tell you right now, I think the milk is also rectangles. I mean, I see you've got something that like is like weird curves in there, right? So that it seems hard for that to be a rectangle. Was that in the arrows? Where did we think we saw the milk? No. Okay, the milk appears to be just like a totally arbitrary path, maybe. The milk appears to be like just some curve description. Because as we all know, milk is not able to be expressed as rectangles. Most other things, though, I mean, there are actually a lot of this stuff are like anything that is like kind of a little line segment, like the sausage and that kind of thing, is a linear path with round ends. Anything that's a circle appears to be, the milk is an outlier. Yeah, milks are not a rectangle. I have bad news for you, that if I make this 3D Sudoku viewer, I'm not sure that this particular puzzle will adapt well to it. So I guess that's interesting, because it may be actually that, that it's not Sven deciding that a thermometer exists as two different objects. Maybe that's actually in like the Sudoku. What is the setting tool you use? I forgot the names of them. Sudoku Maker. Like what it exports. Do you know if there's an easy way for like one of your puzzles to see that, like, or from Logic Masters, is there a way to see the export? Like, how do you, is that a thing you can see on Logic Masters? That's not you. That's for you. How come there's so many puzzles that have your name in them that are not you? You've got a lot of fans, it looks like. Okay, for Skojo, published puzzles. Like, is there a way for me to look at, like, to see the thing, like see the underlying. This fellow? So if I just drop in a URL. Did I do something wrong? Oopsie. Oh, okay. So in here, Oh, where it came from. I see. No, I just want to know what like the definition looks like, kind of like I'm sure you're like this grocery store one is especially insane because it's just going to have so much madness. That's funny though. It is also appears to be underlays are defined as rectangles, but then they can be rounded or not. So that seems like, so is this JSON something that is standard, or is it something that like Sven parses all the different sources and figures it out? Or I guess I'm trying to understand like where, I see we have lines here. Waypoints, underlays, cages. Did I see cages? I saw cages. So see, the problem with looking at Scojo puzzles is they're all going to be insane. There's going to be something weird going on, something suspicious. Okay, older F puzzles. We'll never make it there because we're still in 2025. How can I possibly go to your oldest puzzles because Logic Masters doesn't have a just go to the oldest? Do we do it? Looks really different. I mean, all this tells us is like certain constraints are on or not, or so I guess in terms of strategy, if we wanted to do this thing, either we have to both go to the original puzzle definition and try to draw from it, which doesn't seem like it necessarily has sort of like very declarative things and saying like, this is a thermometer. It's going to be like there's a circle and there's a line next to it, right? And it's just up to whichever tool it came from exactly how that's drawn. And we would have to figure out how to parse all those things. Or we say Sven's done all the work and just has drawn the drawing. And that's a thing we could do. The unfortunate like shortcoming in this whole plan, of which, you know, there's probably a lot of shortcomings in this whole plan, is going by just the drawing as like the final output drawing. There's no knowledge of what the thing is. Like a line is just purple or it's green. We don't know it's a German whisper unless we try to infer that based on the color or something. But like, so that becomes challenging, and that just may not exist anywhere. Like, in other words, the visual drawn representation of the puzzle does not necessarily contain the rules. It may in some cases, like it kind of seemed like the diagonal definition was in there, but like as far as like, you know, what a given line means or not. So it may not just ever be available to us to like understand. I don't know, what is the term I'm looking for? Like the semantics of a line. Like I'm struggling for the words to use as like kind of like, what does this line mean? Versus it's just, we understand the shape of it, the geography and geometry of the line, kind of, but not the intention of the line. And that's a little sad in terms of being like, well, it would be kind of cool to say that like a region sum line somehow behaves visually differently than a German whisper line. Screaming Ice Cube. First of all, welcome. I've missed you. Number two, we're topping, yes, this is deep philosophical discussion on, does a German whisper know, does a green German whisper line know that it is a German whisper line, or does it simply know that it's a green line? And in a separate world of cognition, in a separate world of sort of like, not even just like nomenclature, it's not just about like taxonomy of saying this line is or isn't. It's beyond taxonomy. It's like defining the traits and behaviors of it. It's like there's genetics in there. Does a tomato know it's a square? That's where things get very complicated. I can tell you almost certainly, I can almost guarantee to you that the square does not know it's a tomato. Sudoku coach has rules attached to the clues. Interesting. Like for any puzzle? Or just like a certain set of puzzles that were maybe authored for coaching? What happens if you spill milk on the Sudoku coach? Oh my gosh, your tomato's an apple? See, that's where things get very, very difficult, actually. Is like, tomatoes are a complicated, like, you know, botanical anomaly as it stands. Like, you could argue all day whether or not a tomato is a fruit or vegetable, but like, is it a berry? So you could probably try to infer some rules based on what I'm seeing without diving super deeply. There's no, the lines themselves are simply rules for drawing things, not for imposing the intent as far as the rules go. Yeah, that's all I see is a couple red squares with maybe some green squares on top. One of them appears to be two-dimensional and one appears to three-dimensional, which is part of the problem here. Because if I see a square that is round, is that, and now I want to take it into 3 dimensions, is that a sphere or is it a disc? I don't know. So here's what I think I'm prepared to say. What do I think I'm prepared to say? I think I'm prepared to say, with the exception of Skojo's milk, which I don't even want to set the milk aside, that Sven has done the work, whatever the case, to like bake things down such that it is scalable vector graphics. First of all. Second of all, it is scalable vector graphics that are somewhat organized into like a vertical stack of, like, you know, of some meaning. Meaning, like, we know where the pen marks and the pencil marks live. We know where the candidates live, the cell values. Like, we know where certain things live. We know where the givens live. That's all pretty easy, right? Those things are pretty well defined. I don't know what that T-span was. What does that mean? Uh-oh. Wait, where was that? We lost the puzzle. It's long gone. What puzzle were we looking at? Well, let's look at this puzzle actually, because this is perhaps a less upsetting puzzle as far as sort of like the existential crises of these. There's no circles or squares in here that are struggling with their identity. This is a pretty simple puzzle to visualize, one would think. If we copy the outer HTML and paste it in here, and then we go to here, we're expecting a very simple thing. Oh gosh, what are your cats? Your cats may be paths. Look at those cutie kitties. Are those in the... Where are the kitties? Well, first, okay. Taxonomically, we go, your cats are arrows. So your cats are arrows, first and foremost. And then beyond that, they appear to be largely lines. But this one looks more complicated. Well, which one is the kitty's little facey? Hard to say. This is not the ideal editor for this kind of exploration, I guess. But the good news is it does not appear that your cats are rectangles. Your cats appear to be largely maybe like lines with control points in them. Cats are arrows. No, yeah, easy. So, but let's go back to your easy puzzle, because the nice thing about the easy puzzle, I lost it already, is there's just a line in there, right? That I don't think cats are the same as milk. There's some similar properties. Cats are like a composition of lines and milk, maybe. The cell, there's the grid, which for some reason we don't see. Unless we only actually see the box lines and not the like inner cell lines, which maybe is the case. Like even that, this loader didn't seem to think that we should see inner lines. Look at that. That line is blue. That's a blue line. Huh? That's promising. That looks like it's from the these numbers look great, I gotta say. Okay. Okay, friends, what have we learned here today? We got a blue line. That's exciting. We don't have digits here, but we kind of expected that. Very, like, annoyingly, the SVG loader is like almost a thing if it just had like some little hooks to let us know what's going on, but it is like a deeply kind of like encapsulated. It is written in a very, yeah, I guess I would say encapsulated way where we can call parse, but it's not easy for us to call methods within parse. Having said that, Do we move through these recursively? Probably. Don't we expect that to like iterate through them? A lot of stuff in here. Looks like somebody did some work that I don't want to do. We don't want to do the eigen decomposition, please. Yeah, we do all this stuff. We parse the root. Is parse node recursive? It seems like the kind of person who would write eigen decomposition functions or whatever is the kind of person who's going to call parse path node from within parse path node. Or No, I see. Sorry, that's parse path node. That is like the individual path. We're parsing all of the like Bezier data or whatever. That's not where we want to be. We want to be in parse node because we're probably starting with a parse. Yeah, parse node. We're expecting parse node to be recursive. Maybe. Use, yeah, there's a parse node there. We also expect even like a G parse style. Does that end up also calling a parse node? Are we expecting to recurse? Parse style? What do you do? I'm confused a little bit actually. Like how it's like walking down this tree. Oh, it isn't. Because it's not. Right. They're not taking the data and then loading it into like creating a hierarchy, I think. I think they are. Look at that. Data gives you paths, but it also gives you this. Wait. Is that meaningful? It does give you the full SVG document, like kind of parsed into the structure, doesn't it? It does. Look at that. This is a mess. But inside cell values, there's no cell values. But didn't we have, you had givens, right? Weren't there givens in this puzzle? So in cell givens, we should have children. Yeah. Well, look at that. Okay. We're percolating slightly, right? We've got like some percolation happening. If this has a value in it, or like an inner text or something, inner HTML is 1. So, proposal. If we were going to pursue this, we would try to maybe have like some initially, some paths we were exploring, and that XML document element. So it is parsed. I see. So what we could do is we could load the XML. We could do this and create the XML. If we can call, can we? We can't. Very annoyingly. But that's, even then you could maybe work around it. Anyway, the point is there's a way that we could just load the XML and we could do XML stuff that we wanted to do. Is that in here? This probably just straight up loads it and feeds it to the thing, right? Yeah, parse the text. Interestingly, which is definitely not the ideal scenario, but you could maybe like break that to pieces, and for example, you could kind of feed it only the overlays or only the underlays or only the paths or whatever, and possibly end up with something interesting as a first pass before trying to do like really nonsensical things like extruded tubes for the paths. Maybe. I mean, that is one thing that's kind of disappointing about the whole premise here, is that it's like, it does a lot of work. And we don't want to deal with that. We just want to deal with like, I just want to draw a line, dude. Like if we go back to this puzzle SVG, where were we? Was it an arrow? No, it was a, where is the diagonal line? It's in the overlay. And it is just a path with like relatively it goes from a coordinate from like 576 by 0 to 0 by 576, right? So it is a corner to corner line. And so being able to try to like identify some things like that maybe becomes a real pain when we have to do something more robust than that. But so here's the path that you could imagine for like if we wanted to try to actually build a prototype of this, which we're not going to do tonight because it's bedtime. We could use this tool. We still would have work to do, obviously, because our little like happy man wasn't working very well. We could use this tool to at least draw kind of like the flattened representation of the rules of the puzzle. And that's a thing that we could just draw flat to start with, effectively, and just draw it basically the way it appears here. But after that, we could certainly draw three-dimensional versions of the numbers or whatever, like all this stuff here where it's like we think we can pretty reliably understand what to expect in here. Seems like we could draw those things. And if we didn't want to draw it from here, we could just draw it from the raw data. So here's the main question is like, do I care enough to pursue this now that we poked about it and we add it and we kind of understand the constraints? Drawing a puzzle that looks like this does not feel like a tremendous challenge. Drawing a puzzle that looks like a modern Scojo puzzle feels daunting, scary, horrifying, threatening, emotionally abusive. Feels like all those things. Hmm. I'm torn. I think there's not a world where I would want to endeavor from scratch, learning to draw the rules of Sudoku from all the different sources and whatnot. Like, Sven seems to have done a tremendous amount of work on that, and so why would I redo that? So the best thing we have is his like already collapsed representation of the drawing, but it has been converted into SVG, which is sensible. But then we would be trying to then take that SVG and make 3D sense of it. And it becomes challenging for sure, because there's a lot going on in here. And this file is not necessarily structured to make life easier on us. Like, it's not designed to be, so it's not like a criticism necessarily, but it's just not sort of a, it's not designed to offer kind of an API to deal with. Like, oh, like if there was some way to take yeah, so it almost works like what was that old program related to Turtle? Is that right? The thing where it's just like, hey, you got a line here, it needs to go to a place. You got to move to. And you're going to say, like, how you do that. And, like, the command we saw previously was just move somewhere and then draw a line to somewhere else, right? Like, those kinds of commands feel pretty manageable. It looks like there are some abbreviated shortcuts for horizontal, vertical. So drawing lines does not seem tremendously challenging. Drawing curves, not necessarily tremendously challenging. You move somewhere. Here's your curve, and that's Bezier. The parsing of all this seems annoying. Like, we kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, standard, how do you parse these things? SVG path data, huh? It's annoying. Browsers have a parser built in. Yeah, like can you parse this in a way that is meaningful? You fell asleep too? Me too. I'm definitely going to stop soon. I've like a tiny bit more curiosity to exhaust. I'm not seeing the thing that I want to see, which is I mean, this looks a little bit better in that this does the parsing. Does this use this? Oopsie. I mean, it may predate it. No, it seems to not use it. So kind of interesting. This feels like a little bit kind of sort of promising. I mean, 9 years ago, oof. But why is this experimental after 7 million years? It at least does the parsing for you. Doesn't do much more than that, but maybe that's all it's supposed to do. This is interesting because this actually makes it seem like somewhat possible to just look at the SVG and just draw the thing and not even use the SVG loader. Like, that is interesting to me. We still have all the problem of like the CSS classes and things like that, but it kind of let's go back to one of our earlier puzzles. Like rect, we could see this is a rect. Now that feels somewhat manageable. The roundedness of that rect is another discussion. Can you draw a rounded rectangle here? Can you draw a squircle? Rounded box geometry. It's right there. It's right here. Oh no. It's not there. But it's here. But it's just a type of thing. Okay, I gotta go to bed. Look at this. Look at it. Okay, this is a terrible thing that I'm about to say, but I think I want to try to do this. Like, do it ourselves. Like, how cool would that look if we can have like, look at this cool thing. How do I get it here? Take me here. Yeah, look at these. What if our Sudoku grid looked like this? Sick. A curvy cube. A cube. Or is it a cube that is curvy? Or is it a circle that is squarish? Is it a cube that is round or a round object that is cubic? It's a squircle. Look at these. These are three-dimensional squircles. Oh, no. Think of how cool. Think of how think of how cool the fog puzzles could be. What does the representation of fog look like? It's probably not called fog. It's probably just like cell colors. It's actually not true though, because fog does have to render above text, right? Is fog a special case? Okay, well, we've spent 3 hours exploring this idea. I am still interested. It does seem annoying, more annoying than I'd hoped. SVG loader does not appear to be the answer, but the notion that I know we can draw rectangles. I know we can do it. And I know we can draw lines. I feel good about that. I feel like we can do it. And can you like extrude? Like extrude a line or like extrude a long path? Well, this is... No, we want to extrude along... Look at that. That's what we want, right? An extruded spline. We want to be able to take SVG paths and we want to make splines from them. And we want to make them radial. And we want to give them however many extrusion segments they need. Kind of messy on the end, but that's okay. Yeah, imagine this if it was just shiny and it's this like German whisper and it just looks incredible. So I think we have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I think we have to. I feel like we have to, but I also feel like I have to stop streaming. So everybody, Lord Kelvin, Skojo, who else stopped by? I know other people did, and I feel bad when Screaming Ice Cube even made an appearance. And we got a nice raid. We got to see Nell's puzzle. Phoenix dropped by. Everybody, I appreciate it. Anybody I'm missing, I apologize, but I appreciate it. Stonecrop, of course, back after so much time. I really appreciate everybody stopping by. It's been fun to stream a bit more. 8 a.m. is probably a good time to go to bed. I would agree with that. That's a nice round number. Okay, I'm going to stop. Maybe we pick this up in tomorrow. My Balatro run earlier, I died catastrophically, but I've decided to view it as like, actually, we're just setting up like a multiverse story where I died in that universe. But what if there was a universe in which I made some slightly different choices at the end regarding voucher purchases, and then I didn't die? So we may explore a Balatro multiverse soon, possibly. I plan to stream more only because I'm using it to avoid things I'm supposed to be doing, which is probably not good. There's a universe. We live in a universe where all circles are squares. There's probably a universe in which all squares are circles. That's probably there's probably a universe like that. Okay, anyway, you're all the best. I had a nice time, even though we didn't make a ton of progress in this. We know more than we did when we started, and we're going to pretend like that's valuable. Have a good night and or morning. Thank you.